Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday. I'm back at my bridge. It is actually feeling a little springy out here. We had thunderstorms last night, spring rains. Hopefully, we're at the end of March. Hopefully, April showers will bring May flowers. So, we're entering our fourth month. We started at the beginning of the year, and I said that I was going to really take you guys through the 30 days to success. Personal Power 2. That's the program of Tony's that I've listened to the most. I've listened to it God knows how many hundred times over the years. I listen to it every morning. And that's what we've been doing. We obviously did it a lot longer than 30 days. I've gone a lot more in depth in terms of each particular topic, but that's what we've been really going through. So now we're at the stage of that program where we're going through money, where we're talking about finances. Now, the amount of emotion that this topic generates kind of never ceases to amaze me. It is such a hot topic, and people are so all over the place on it. Some people are really excited to talk about it, and a lot of people are not really excited to talk about it. And it's kind of like report card day in a way. When it's report card day, the students that are great students, they can't wait for their report card. But the students that aren't as good as students, they're not really interested in getting their report card. So, I've been all over the place with regards to this topic, and I've made so many mistakes in this area that I can't even count them all. But I've also attended enough seminars. I'm not a very bright guy, but after a while, I start to get it. And I've done these seminars enough that I've learned a couple of things. And one of the things I've learned is if you want to get better at something, you have to face it. And the only way to get past a particular thing in your life, whatever it is to go through it. If you've had a trauma, avoiding it is not going to make it better. You need to go through it. If you've got a challenge that you need to deal with, health, relationships, whatever it is. And by the way, no matter where we are in the world, we're all dealing with the same stuff. Obviously, if you live in the Ukraine right now, you're dealing with some things that you don't live with if you live in Phoenix. But at the bottom line is, as humans, we're all dealing with the same things. We're all trying to figure out finances, emotions, relationships. How do we figure out how to be happy? We're all dealing with the same fears. We're all dealing with the same stuff. So in order to deal with whatever it is you need to deal with, you got to go through it. You can't go around it. There's no easy, quick way. There's ways to change our psychology like that. There's ways to change how we feel about things like that. But then we still got to go do the work. We still got to go do the work and go do the jazz. So when it comes to the topic of money, I've learned enough to talk about it a little bit. I'd love to talk about it in detail because it's such a stressor for everybody. I mean, I don't know if there's anything that causes more problems for people in relationships than money. Obviously, addictions cause a tremendous amount of problems, but I really think a lot of addictions get funneled by money problems, and then it becomes something that's secular. So, I'd like you guys to post in the chat just how much you want me to really talk about this, because I can go on and on and on, and how much you really want to get into it over the next couple of days, because I don't want to sit here and bore you. But let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, if you want to think about why it is that you don't have the finances, if you do not have financial independence, and financial independence to me means you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want. You can go anywhere that you want. If today you decide, I want to go hang out in Bora Bora for 6 months, you can go do that. That's financial independence. If you are not at that stage, then let's find out why. And initially, are there some systems that you need to put into place? Absolutely. But the systems are worthless if you haven't dealt with the psychology. The psychology has to come first, and then the systems can come into place. This is what we all do with our health, is we think we need a new system to lose weight, and then we'll lose weight. We don't need a new system. We need a new psychology. And then we can go implement a system. Because are there systems that will work losing weight and getting in shape? Of course, there's hundreds. They'll all work. If you have the right psychology, you got to work the system. So if you want to get yourself to financial independence, we can talk about strategies till the cows come home. But first, you got to change your psychology. So the quickest thing to do is to take a minute sometime today, whether it's right now, which would be a great time, when would now be a great time, or sometime later, but think about what you were taught when you were growing up about money. Think about what it is that was said about money when you were a kid. Did you hear things like, money doesn't grow on trees? Take care of the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. Did you hear things like, wealthy people are bad? Wealthy people did things that were wrong in order to get wealthy. Did you, I was raised Catholic, so I can throw this stone. Were you raised Catholic and you were fed guilt if you had money? What is it that you heard? And then also, what do you associate to money, both good and bad? Typically, when we do this, what we'll hear about money, what we'll associate to money, what we'll hear people say is the language will come out something like this. To money, they'll associate freedom, independence, ability to do things. They'll even associate fun. They'll associate things like that. But they'll also associate that I got to work hard. I got to sacrifice. I have to take advantage of people. Sometimes that's an association that people have. That it's not possible. That only lucky people become financially independent, or only people who inherit become financially independent. The opposite is true, by the way. Most people who are financially independent don't inherit. The ones that inherit typically lose it. What we'll typically find out when we go through this process at Wealth Mastery is people will have conflicting feelings and beliefs with regards to finances. And the reality is this: if you don't have the amount of money that you want to have in your life, it's because psychologically you associate more pain to getting the money than you do to not getting the money. And we hate to believe that. And I didn't want to believe that, but it's true. Because you always figure out a way to make sure that you pay your rent and you pay your, car payment, and you make sure you get your iPhone and you make sure you got food. If you don't have an abundance, it's because you haven't made it a necessity. And because you associate negative things to it. So for today, let's just figure out, what is it that you associate to money? What are the conflicting beliefs that you have? So think about the good things and think about the bad things, and think about what you were taught as you were growing up around this topic of money. What is it that you heard, and what is it that people said to you? And write them down. Remember, there's huge power in writing things down. Bald eagle just flew over my head, by the way. That's kind of cool. Huge power in writing things down, way more than typing them. So write it down and take a look at the beliefs that you have regarding this topic. And then over the next couple of days, we'll talk about the fundamental principles that everybody that becomes financially independent does. There are certain things that everybody does in order to become financially independent. Just like people that lose a certain amount of weight and keep it off and stay in decent shape, there are certain fundamental principles that they follow. People that create financial independence, there's certain fundamental principles that they follow, and they never deviate from those fundamental principles. So write down those beliefs. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have enough education. I'm in the wrong proximity. I'm in the wrong area. And by the way, if you want to start thinking about some new beliefs with regards to money, let me offer you this thought. Money magnifies. Think about people that you know. And if not, then think about people that you can read about if you don't know anybody that has significant wealth. I've been fortunate enough to meet 6 billionaires in my lifetime so far. And the reality is money magnifies. If you're a generous person, if you've got more money, you're going to be more generous. If you're philanthropic, you're going to be more philanthropic. If you're a jerk, you're going to be a bigger jerk. Money magnifies who you are. So if you like who you are, then money is going to make you more of that. If you want the ability to take care of your family, if that's something that you would do, well, with more money, you're going to have more power to do that. If you'd like the ability to participate in your church or whatever organization you want, maybe it's AA, maybe it's domestic violence, whatever it is, if you would like to actually participate and have more of an influence on the outcome of that organization, with more money, you're going to be able to do that. Money does give ability to do things. It doesn't bring happiness, but it does bring opportunities. and it solves certain problems. So, number one, I would offer you is a belief of money magnifies. Whatever I am, I'm going to become more of it if I have more money. The second thing is people have a tendency to have a belief that if I'm taking money, I'm taking it away from somebody else. That somehow, if I go get a large pile of money, if I go get $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion, that somehow I'm taking that away from somebody. Well, let's dispel that belief. The amount of money floating around on the planet as compared to the number of humans floating around on the planet is comparable to the amount of water in the oceans. That's how much money there is floating around. And if you're in the United States, in the last 3 years, for every $20 that you had in your pocket, the United States government added another 7 to that number. So there's trillions and trillions of dollars floating around. There is no lack of money. If you go create financial independence for yourself, you are not taking money away from other people. And in fact, if you do it right, when you create financial independence for yourself, you're actually helping other people in the process, creating jobs, creating opportunities. Not everybody is designed to own a business. So if you are designed to do that and you go do that, you're creating a situation where other people get to have a better life because of how you're going to treat them and how you're going to take care of them. And if you do that right, you create financial independence for yourself and a better life for the other people. So those are 2 beliefs that I would give you to think about. Write down your beliefs today. Drop them in the chat if you get a chance. If you want to talk about this more, drop it in the chat. I'm planning on continuing the conversation tomorrow morning. And if you don't want to talk about this topic, drop that in the chat too, because I think that's something that we should talk about. If it's something that you're not interested in talking about, there's a reason why. It's because you don't want to face it. You don't want to face that reality. You feel like a failure. Well, guess what? We've all felt like a failure with regards to money more than once. And we're going to again. That's the way that it works. That's the way life works. Is we're going along and then all of a sudden the universe gives us a new challenge in order to make us grow. Problems are here to make us grow. At the end of the day, we want to be the designers of our lives, not the managers of our circumstances. Money is part of that. It's not going to buy your happiness, but it does create opportunities to do all kinds of things that you can choose to make yourself happy. So go through and take a look at your beliefs. We're going to start talking about them through the rest of this week. Wow, we got a lot of people commenting. This is great. My Uncle Bill, great to see you. Mr. Dakin, great to see you. Mr. Lampy and Valerie, you guys are always here. I appreciate you guys so much. Jamie Williams, thank you so much for saying hi. Mary, financial independence may look different to different people for you. Okay, I'll read that when I get a chance. Hello, Mary. Hello, Chrissy out in Boston. Mr. Drehobel down in Florida, great to see you. Mr. Heck, great to see you this morning. Add $7, got an extra 28 off you. All right, I've got to read all this stuff when I get done. Thank you for watching, everybody, so much. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. See you tomorrow.